The meeting of the Revere Planning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Bacilli. Mr. Corrin. Mr. D'Angelo is absent. Mr. Mazzoni. Mr. Colometto is absent. Mr. Tucker.
Present.
Quorum is present. First application before the board is application A1604. This is the application of Lucretia Deeran and Sheri Murray, 41 Irving Street, Revere, requesting various parking variances to enable the appellant to convert an existing single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling on Lot 261 at 41 Irving Street, Revere.
All right, you just have to turn on the microphone by holding that button and it'll turn green. The push button on the bottom.
I got it.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Attorney Lawrence Simeone, 300 Broadway, Revere, Massachusetts, representing the applicant.
Okay, would you like to give a presentation?
You gonna make the offer?
Yes?
Make me the offer.
You can continue with the... What? You have the right to speak on this.
All right, why waste the time? I'll talk to you next month.
We need a little verbiage.
Well, seeing that there's two members not present here tonight, you do have the right to continue. Do you wish to continue?
I do. You're telling me I have a plan that's inadequate, so I'll change the plan, put it before you, save the trouble of everybody. I mean, if that's the reason why the discussion, someone, that's fine. I mean, I have a two-family home at this location at Lot 261, 4,000 square feet, 40 foot of frontage, built in 1927. It's a non-conforming structure prior to zoning in July of 1929. It doesn't have any legal parking. I would say it has no legal parking because I can't certify by instrument survey the width of the driveway or the proposed parking spaces. They've used the parking area to the right of the structure for 3 parking spaces for years. Okay? And my position is very clear. I would like to ask the building department for an occupancy permit. In order to ask the building department for an occupancy permit, I have to show moving from one non-conforming structure with a legal one-family, I need to come up with 2 off-street parking spaces in order to get that, to qualify, if you will, for the extra unit. So I've proposed a plan that shows 2 off-street parking spaces, actually 3 of them. 2 are 9 by 18 by taped survey, okay? Which means that it may or may not be accurate because it's a tape survey. It is a certified land surveyor's plan. You've said to me that you believe that it needs to show the side yard. If that's what the board wants, I will resubmit the surveyor's plan and have him, to the best of his ability, by tape, put the dimensions in. Other than that, it doesn't change. Those dimensions could be 8'11", 8 feet 11. They could be 8 feet 10. They could be 9 feet 4 inches. The bottom line is, I can't say with certainty. How would I be able to say with certainty? I would have to have my clients spend upwards of $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000 for an instrument survey, which seems to be, given the de minimis nature of the request, seems to be draconian. And given the fact that the property has been used for this long, for especially 3 parking spaces, and we're again offering 3 parking spaces when we only need 2, I think it's a legitimate request. If this board were to grant the variance for the width and the driveway, then I would be able to then take my client and go to the building inspector, ask for an occupancy permit. She would have to upgrade the facility, put the new windows, in that the building inspector normally requires, have each department sign off, and he should qualify for an occupancy permit.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one... Okay, go ahead.
Why didn't Frank give the option to further alter a non-conforming structure to achieve what you want to achieve?
I'm not altering the structure.
What, you could skip right now the parking issue totally if you, well, it's a single family house, right?
It is.
You're gonna convert it to a two.
I would like to qualify the parking so that I can ask for a second occupancy for a two-family.
Are
Yeah,
you
I need to have
doing
two parking spaces.
structural work inside the building, you know?
No, it's been a
So it's a non-conforming two, illegal two.
the basement downstairs is not legal. It's not legal.
So if you're gonna
It
do
can
some
qualify.
work, you're gonna do some work in
They're not gonna do any work.
there. Window work,
Well, they'll have to do window work at the request of the building inspector's office when they go for the occupancy permit.
so with the work on the window work, would you be further altering a non-conforming structure?
I don't think an installation of a window would be an alteration under the ordinance. It's usually a substantial, the definition of alteration under the ordinance is a substantial exterior.
So everything else meets the fire safety process?
I haven't had somebody down there, but I assume it will.
I mean, that seemed to me like easier, it's up to you.
I mean, I'm not looking to make the route harder, I'm just trying to save the client money. I mean, at the end of the day, if the parking spaces aren't wide enough, then they're not wide enough.
It's not ju, as I stated to you on the telephone, when I went down there just using a tape, you don't have 9 by 18 spaces, you don't have 3 18-foot spaces. You have to cut back your yard, the yard, which the yard is 18 inches. There's a cement behind that fence which is over 18 inches thick. So you don't have it now, like you're saying. You're saying you can park 3 cars there legally now. You can't.
We'll have to cut.
You can't park 3 cars there now. If you go on Google, you see 2 cars sometimes on there.
There are 3 spaces, that people have parked 3 cars in that location.
And it's only 2 tandem spaces, so you're asking for 3 tandem spaces as well.
I'm asking for 3 tandem spaces because that's how they use the premises right now. And if it's not big enough, not long enough, we'll cut the wall. I mean,
He hasn't got that in his site plan review.
what?
He doesn't, and that's what I questioned, and Frank unfortunately is not around to answer any questions. The other members of site plan review don't seem to have knowledge of this that they're stating when I went to them, so they said, you're probably gonna have to remand this back to site plan review so we can better understand the plan. That's what I was told when I went to the 3 gentlemen who looked at these plans. So this is just, it's complex to me. Normally we'd get a certified plan with all the dimensional controls on it, no questions. We'd get something from site plan review saying that based on the dimensional controls, that they're putting it in front of us, that they denied you a 2-family permit, and that's nothing here.
Site plan review doesn't deny anybody. They don't have the
Well,
authority.
what do they do?
Recommendations to the building inspector, or simply state. The letter that's before you that identifies that, has no authority in our statute or ordinance. That letter that you're looking at was a letter that was recommended years ago by the former clerk in order to draft notices for advertising. I'm sure he got tired of people coming in and saying one thing and the bureaucrats saying another. But the reality is that letter isn't authorized by any regulation or ordinance. But it usually is accepted. If it's contested, you can contest it. But it's accepted. Frank Stringy looked at the plan, and those are the two.
Is it, so site plan looked at it, not just Frank Stringy, am I correct?
Stringy looked at it.
So it wasn't at a site plan review meeting?
It doesn't have to be in a site plan review. Did I not just say, with all due respect to the chairman, that this is a letter that is issued on a routine basis, okay, by Mr. Stringy, in order to meet the requirement of filing with this board, a requirement that doesn't have any, not only is it not in your regs, it's not even, this letter is not even authorized by your ordinance. And it assists the clerk in drafting the notice.
That my recommendation would be to, well, first, there's a motion to continue this till the next calendar which would be May 25th at 4 PM. And hopefully by then, we can remand this, in the meantime, back to the Site Plan Review Committee, and then I will get more definition from the city solicitor as to, we're being told that it goes to Site Plan Review Committee prior to coming to the Board of Appeals. I'm now being told that Frank Stringy does this by himself and not straight plan. Then I just want more clarification from the city solicitor as well.
May 25th.
May 25th. So is there a motion on the floor to offer a continuance to May 25th? Is there a second? Roll call?
Question now comes on continuing this matter to May 25th. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo is absent. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Mr. Colometto is absent. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this matter is continued to May 25th. Also into the record before is a letter from 10 residents of Irving Street in support of this variance. We made it part of the record.
So hearing no further business, we'll close this meeting and continue a meeting on the 25th of May. Thank you.